Welcome back, everyone. It is the end of July, and today we are looking at the spiciest stuff. Welcome back, guys. Make sure to smash the likes and subscribes for the stream. We're going to be looking at Bitcoin today, XRP, AMC, XLM. We have two kind of curveball charts that we're going to take a look at. Maybe I'll start with that joke. Founder of Hex, Pulse, and PulseX, Richard Hart, was allegedly indicted by the SEC for a civil case on fraud. There's some stuff about it. Turns out Pulse Chain flatlined as Hex has dove 25% along with the other assets. Take a look at those charts, and I have a kind of spicy one I think we'll take a look at the end. A chart I believe every investor should be looking at. So stay tuned, guys. It's good to be back. New week, new starts, new charts. Check out our sponsors in the video description below. BEMX and Fairdesk, two of the greatest crypto exchanges. I use them both personally. Partners of this channel. Solid choices. Use my link for some sweet bonuses when you sign up. All right, so let's settle into it. Not a lot of movement here into the end of July. We are wrapping up in about 6 hours, and traditional markets maybe in about 3 hours. I wish there was some hella spicy end of the month stuff, but it doesn't really seem like it. A chart that I didn't even pull up that I kind of wanted to start with. We'll grab this over again really quickly. This is a great explainer for everything going on, why the markets have been so boring, why it seems like nothing is happening. In front of us, we've looked at this the last few streams, but there's always new eyes. BVOL 7-day, BVOL 24-hour. Basically, this is Bitcoin volatility. It is the VIX of Bitcoin and really of all of crypto it's applicable to. So when this chart is going down, that is telling us that Bitcoin is moving less or is less volatile. It's making smaller price changes or less rapid price changes. In the last, let's see, maybe week, really we can extrapolate this out, maybe even till June, early June, volatility has been falling and we've all felt it. This has been some really boring price action. People are checked out. It's summertime. I get it, guys. Breaks are healthy. Don't worry. We'll be here. But volatility continues to fall, and today it looks like it's taking a plunge. These numbers are kind of arbitrary. I don't know what what 1 means or 2 means, but they're all proportional to each other. Currently, volatility score is at 2.64 on the weekly, and the yearly low, January, the first week of January, the last week of December, hit 2.1, and this was nearly the all-time low of Bitcoin volatility. And at that point, Bitcoin seemingly reversed from a bear market at 15K and began climbing back up to 31. As we approach the 2.1 or this year's low volatility, likely going to see a major move result. I'm watching volatility very closely, and I'm even trying to do some experimental charting based on it, kind of logically. If volatility continues to fall, so if we see it falling today, our price range of what we might expect Bitcoin to move to is also going to shrink. I'm trying to use that for the first time in my trades and analysis, and I will walk you through that as I figure that out as we go. Looking at the whole history, we did have a lower point in volatility in October of 2018, and this is kind of the threatening part of this for me. In 2018 in October, a lot of you weren't around, but Bitcoin had been trading at 6K for roughly a year. After trading to 20 and falling into a bear market, the lowest point in volatility was right before Bitcoin fell from 6K to 3K at the end of 2018 for over a 50% drop. That's pretty threatening. I will say, kind of to read the hopium on this chart, this does not really look like this per se. This was pretty much just a fall down and a wild move up into a higher low. So we could say, well, maybe December or January was that low point, so that would be the fall from 6 to 3, and now we're looking for a higher low. That might add up, but that's not really the bearish take that you might actually take away from this chart looking at it yourself. Continuing to watch volatility, I think it will be a really strong signal if it does break this year's low. I think whatever direction it's going in, then it's likely to reverse, so keep your eyes peeled. Didn't even think about talking about that. I'm terrible, man. I need like a manager of a show so I can stay on topic. I'm not good at it. Let's look at Bitcoin. We're wrapping up at 5.5 hours, and this monthly is leading a little bit to be desired. Not exactly the sexiest wrap up to the month, but there are some kind of silver lining good things here that we'll go over. July. Everyone had such high hopes. Why not? May was beautiful. June was beautiful with a bullish engulf. So here we are at the end of July, and we can see prices chilling at about 19.2. We took some longs here in the last live streams. Are still open. This is really an easy point to identify in the monthly. April, we saw a rejection from this point. May opened up there, and that was the previous monthly resistance. We traded lower in June just to move back above it. Key note, we did make a higher high in July, and we don't have a lower low. So that is also in the bulls camp, but nothing to get too excited about. What I'm looking for in this monthly close is above 19.2. I want to see that previous monthly resistance turn to support. That would be absolutely ideal. I'm going to actually change this to white so I can remember. Really, really close. Price is about 0.05% away from that. In the next 5 hours, 6 hours, I think it's likely to wrap up above there. I think that would be a bullish signal to the market that the bulls are defending previous resistances, not allowing that dry powder to get back in, not allowing the bears to reclaim their positions. If we do get a close above 19.250, I'm absolutely, in August, at minimum, looking for a test of 30.4, that previous monthly resistance or this month's open. Get the strong close, move up to 30.4 in August, and then I don't know. That's about it. I can, with very high confidence, in fact, I will, maybe at the end of this, take a live trade, put it in, just so you guys can see me put the money where the my mouth where money is, whatever that saying is. 29,250 to 30.4, 30.5. Not a huge trade, but very high probability in my book to see this play out if support holds or previous resistance holds as support. So that's pretty simple. I think that's kind of the only thing I'm really looking at into this close. Obviously above 30.4, 30.5 in the next 5.5 hours would be great. With volatility, though, moving down, this is what I said, I was trying to incorporate this into my analysis. With volatility moving down, I don't see the probability of that very high. I definitely would need to see a reversal in volatility, need to see that kicking back up, and then perhaps we might look for even, potentially a lower close or a green close in this month. I think that's a very small chance. Maybe I'll put that at about 5 or 10% chance. I don't think that's very likely. So outside of that, Bitcoin, not a super extravagant month. Really quick, let's look at the week because it is Monday. We just closed a weekly candle, 18 hours ago. And looking at this weekly close, not too bad. I think this is a good way to set up the monthly close. What is up? We got a new subscriber. Hell yeah. Over there on Twitch, shout out to Twitch, Donkey and Games 3. You the man. For anyone out there, you can join us on YouTube if you'd like to see the real crowd. The other platforms like Twitter, Twitch will kick little ghost towny. YouTube.com/Tom Crown. Also, join our Discord. Keep up with the live streams and be a part of our community. Discord.gg/Tom Crown. There we go. Get the shills out of the way. Nice weekly close here. I like this weekly close yesterday. It's not the strongest. It's not something to get excited about, but basically we look at 29,250 weekly, traded below, settled back up. I think there was some rallying kind of into the end of that weekly close there, and we can see the bulls even on the weekly time frame. We have a level or a rejection here, a previous resistance, turning that into support. I think that's good foreshadowing for this monthly close. We're not asking for a lot. This isn't saying, oh, we just need Bitcoin to move up 50% in the next 5 hours and everything looks good. No, this is like a very low bar kind of aim target that's very achievable in my opinion. This weekly backing it up, I like that a lot. I'd really like to see 29,250 turn to support, let's say on all time frames. Indicators not so hot on the weekly for Bitcoin, not a big deal. Our weekly low, 28.8. I have an alert there. Likely going to be a little more sketched out on my long positions if I get that alert this week versus last week. A lower low wouldn't have bothered me on the previous candle. Now I'm going to be looking for a reversal on this one. So there's our little Bitcoin wrap up. We're going to go through XRP, AMC, XLM, Hex, and our mystery chart. And then maybe we'll circle back around to do a little more in depth. I don't want to spend 800 hours trying a different kind of content format. So XRP, the reason we're looking at it is XRP had a hell of a month in July. I did not see this coming. In fact, I don't know if anyone saw this coming. We have been commenting, I want to say for the last 6 months, maybe even the last 10 months, that XRP looks really strong. It built a super strong monthly low here, or I'll say swing low, maybe even line in the sand. It's looking unlikely without kind of black swan news that XRP wants to trade below like 28 cents again. I think that's very unlikely. But these monthly closes really did get us looking at it, and we did get our breakout this month. Traded all the way up to, we saw it live. I had a long leveraged position, and my take profit was literally 95 cents, and we saw me get sniped out of that. That was sad. Rest in peace. I ended up only making like maybe 150, 200 bucks in that trade instead of 1,000. But 95 cents, great upside target, great move for XRP. Looking to close almost a 50% gain on this month. Good stuff. Here's what I'm looking for in this monthly close. We have 5 hours and a half just as Bitcoin. And honestly, I doubt there are any mixes. I don't think there's going to be any mix up. Below us is a critical resistance or critical key level. It was support back in late 22. It broke through that on the dump in May and basically retook it this month with some strength, tested a higher resistance, and now is looking to close this candle right in the middle of these two values, which is pretty spicy. Just looking at the monthly, there's really nothing here that would indicate whether we're going to close closer to 61 or closer to 81, but either way, I think we're going to end up very close to where we are right here, 70 cents. I'd love to see a curveball, but that's looking like the most probable outcome. If something crazy happens, right, and we see a sell-off just like you were saying on Bitcoin, I would look at 61.8 cents for support, or I would look at 81.6 for resistance, taking profit, or maybe potentially entering a new trade. If we see weakness in the overall market in August and XRP kind of follows the rest of the market and things are selling off back to support, I would look at 61.8, but in the next month, I would be much more confident, and we've said this on our stream over and over again, I'd be much more confident in a position at 30 or at 53.8, just above 50 cents here. This is a super, super key level. If we're re-entering a bull market right now, it may not ever be back tested. We do see that happen a lot in these takeoffs, but I think that that bet is a really big bet. It's a very kind of risky bet to take almost always. Just putting that out there, but it's 99.9% of the time, patience is rewarded here. And if you have enough patience, I strongly believe 53.8 cents gets tested at some point. I don't have evidence or reason to say next month, but as I said, if the whole market starts selling off and we see downside, 53.8 likely going to be a prime entry for XRP. Of course, none of this is financial advice, guys. Please practice risk management, do your own research. Don't blindly listen to anything I say. I only hope to offer you insights into my years of trading and years of crypto, years of analysis. I hope you can get any kind of value, and that value should not be just doing whatever I say or believing what I believe. That's a bad strategy. XRP, if we do have a very strong August, which I am leaning towards at least initially, I want to see kind of these backfills of July's opens on the monthly. If we do have a very strong August, XRP likely to trade back up to 95 cents, maybe even potentially breaking through. We could see like $1.20, even potentially if we have a really strong rally. May 21's high, the monthly close, maybe like $1.60. Those would be great upside targets in the case of the market really taking off next month. Unusual for crypto, doesn't typically move much in August, doesn't typically go up much in August, but crazier things have happened. The monthly time frame on XRP looks amazing. Marketcipher B, links in the video description below, along with our sponsors. Beautiful on the monthly. I don't know if I see any chart that looks quite this pretty on the monthly time frame when we look at Marketcipher B. Momentum has rolled over. VWAP is just blasting through the roof, making a higher high, and money flow is now just rolling over. That would be a great setup. That'd be a great setup for further upside, but it's going to come down, in my opinion, to the rest of the market, what the greater market is doing. There is one word or one thing of caution I want to share with you before we move on, and it's kind of one of my final thoughts on XRP. 95 cents was beautiful. It was beautiful, 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 wonderful, euphoric day, great time. Thanks for everyone who tuned in that day. But it is a little threatening. Not only is it a monthly level where we found support, then resistance before our fall, this is the 618 retracement. I say this all the time because these are magical. They appear everywhere. From $2 high in April of 21 down to its low at 28.7. Our 618 retracement. So we're tracing 61.8% of our move, brings us back to 95 cents. This is the, I will say, the most commonly retested or retraced the level where we see reversals again. So XRP did tap the 618, and that is typically a sign, or I would say as in my trading book, it's typically a sign to look to go short. You guys remember all through last year and through the beginning of this year, even till today, I've been looking for Bitcoin at 48K at some point this year. The time's running out, but I'm still of that opinion. 48K is the 618 retracement from 69K to 15.5. These in the previous run in 21, when we fell from 65 to 28 or 30, I said I'm looking for 48 because at the time that was a 618 retracement as well. More often than not, whenever a chart makes a move, it looks to return to these levels, even if it wants to continue higher or lower, and they can be tricky. It's kind of the mental level where people think, oh crap, this is now going up for good, but it's like that breaking point where FOMO hits and markets like to reverse on either direction. So keep your eyes peeled. Any kind of break and move above 95 is going to be an extremely bullish signal for XRP. I hope that we see it. It would be fun. The rest of the market would likely benefit as well. Let's see, the weekly. Anything really here? No, not so much. I don't know where it is. But on the weekly, kind of rejected from 81.6, similar to XLM. We should look at that next. We'll look at that after AMC. Really just consolidating, potentially looking to make maybe a slow tap in next month to 61 and potentially all the way to 53.8. I think that would be ideal. All right, I'll have more say on XRP. I'm going to look at AMC just because it's trending. Apparently, our viewers, that means you guys out there, want to see it or are searching for it. I didn't know. You should have told me. I don't follow AMC very closely because it's stocks and I'm not really into stocks. But why not take a look at it? We'll see what I can come up with. So there was some interesting things on AMC this month. While our candle doesn't really show it because it says our monthly high is at $6.16. At some point this month, after market hours, stocks are such a scam. It's so rigged. They're just closed. That's not liquidity. Liquidity can't be closed. I'll rant about that later. While the market was closed, AMC after market hours traded up like 100%. I think this was last Tuesday, maybe, or last Monday. Huge. I guess the market opened lower, and now that's not even on the chart, right? That I don't understand. I don't understand stocks. But AMC, all right, trading at under $5 or at $5. That's a psychological level that's makes sense. We're seeing many months of consolidation here. We fell actually all year around this level. December fell through it. January, February retook it. Okay, so our trading high is like $9.13. And we'll say about $4 to the downside. I don't love when I zoom in. Let's do it this way. I was going to do the monthly, but let's look more closely for a minute. Zooming in here, I don't love AMC's weekly chart. We have a very visible flat bottom here. That flat bottom's at about $4. There's a little deviation. But what there isn't deviation on is a series of lower highs. Now, we can argue maybe last week was a higher high. I don't know. It looks weird. Maybe this was the Monday where after hours or whatever, maybe it was Friday where it traded up and down, because we see on July 17th, the market closed at 440. On July 24th, it opened at 584. It basically just gapped. And so if we don't see that high on the chart, and we don't, this gap here, it's just weird. It's weird. This looks more like the market got pushed up and then just slapped back down. I don't know if that's really a high. There was no green candle into it. It didn't rally into it. It just appeared there and then dropped. I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts. You can say in the live chat or in the comments after kind of where your brain is at that, but that's not relevant or not super relevant. We're seeing lower highs with a flat bottom. If this week it can trade above 625, I'll say, okay, we did have a green candle up to that high. Maybe it's breaking this pattern. Until then, this is a dump pattern. Multiple tests of support, weakening it each time. Remember, this is on the weekly. This isn't an hourly chart or even a daily chart. This is a long period of time. Multiple tests of support, each time weakening it. The market's bouncing off of those stops, and sellers are coming in and pushing the market lower. This is not a great setup when zoomed in. Weekly does not look great, but there is a little hope here. On the month, we have a very clear descending high trend. Very clear. We could absolutely throw another line on this and say, okay, this looks better as a channel. as a parallel channel or even a falling wedge. Doesn't really matter what you want to call it. This macro pattern, dating all the way back to June of 21, so that's 2 years of just falling, bleeding. We see this a lot in crypto. See this a ton in crypto. I'm very used to this. When we see this, at least in crypto, I would say 75% to 80% of the time, maybe even higher, these falling patterns, these parallel falling wedges, falling channels, whatever you want to call them, break to the upside, and we typically see about a 618 retracement, if not more. Now, that doesn't at all tell us that right here is where that's going to happen from. This pattern can continue to play out lower and lower. In fact, looking back here to 2020, these lows created a pretty interesting fair value gap that we could argue maybe 315 or potentially 272. Those might be levels that we look for this pattern to break out. It could happen randomly next month. There's no way of knowing. But this fair value gap, I guess the fair value gap doesn't actually go to here. It's kind of like to 276. That might be where we look. Maybe there's a wick down there and we see a break to the upside. That would be pretty interesting. I don't know much about AMC or how that community is going, but I know that there's a lot of holders there that aren't interested in selling. And if they're looking for picking up more, there might be some opportunities ahead, but there definitely is no guarantee. At the moment, though, if this ugly weekly pattern breaks to the upside, our 618 is sitting at $17.50. We do have that major resistance just under $10, both decent profit-taking points. Does this line up any better? All right. If we do trade down to 272, 1550 actually looks really good for a 618 retracement. That looks very good. Regardless, AMC is looking to close this month bullish engulfed. I highly doubt in an hour and a half it's going to sell off 10%. Seems unlikely. Let me look really, really quickly at the low time frames. Nah, it actually looks pretty good on low time frames here. 5 minute, this is a little flaggish. Coming up to tap the high $5, likely moving back down. Let me see. Oh, and off your descending trend. Likely moving for a higher low, and I bet the market ends up just closing at $5 today. I would love to be wrong. This thing could just go ape at the monthly close. I don't know enough about stocks to really think those mechanics, but this is the most likely pattern on the low time frames for AMC, I think. My bad, that wasn't a trend line. That was just a line. I don't know what that is. It looks good, though. They look good. Beware of lines. Okay, moving on. We're wrapping up with the content that I wanted to get through today, so just bear with me. Thank you for making it this far. I appreciate you. I will be reading the chat in just a bit. I imagine this will only take me another 5 minutes to wrap up, really. So go grab another brew, roll another one. Make sure you've subscribed and liked. We do have a subscriber that I missed today, Rick Plata, the YouTube champ today, the MVP. Thank you for subscribing. Please, if you're out there and you haven't subscribed, take the time to hit that button now. Click the bell, enable notifications, and then go to your phone and make sure, or your mobile device, and make sure that notifications are not muted or are enabled for YouTube so that you'll actually get notified when we go live. You can also join the Discord. XLM, we've talked about a freaking ton, but YouTube says that that's what you guys are searching for still, so we're going to look at it again. We've had some amazing analysis on XLM on Stellar, and it doesn't really look like anything's changed on that front, but we're going to go over it again quickly. XLM's looking pretty dang good. It looked so good that we actually pulled up or created our own chart of XLM versus XRP just to like experiment, and it doesn't look like it's broken out. We'll get back to that though. We'll get back to that. Wait, what was this? Oh yeah, we did have a long. So this maybe is a good rehash. XLM, we've been looking for this pattern. Our lows to come up and our high to remain flat on this rally. We watched it. We were live that day, same day as XRP. Saw it move to 20 cents, major resistance, and we saw it sell back off, I believe, during the live. It was very close to 1630. I said, here's your problem, 1630, another strong resistance for XLM. If today closes, that was back here, below 16.3, we're likely to see this kind of just consolidate out, maybe put in some lower or higher lows and slowly inch back up to that resistance. That is what happened. Now, this pattern's a little different. It's not quite as flat as a lot of the other ones we've looked at. We could say 16.3 is still that flat top. I think that's valid, but we might have something that resembles more of a symmetrical flag, which I don't really like as much. I don't trust those as much. I don't see them break I don't see them break to the correct direction very often. Nope. You know what? Scratch that. Scratch that. I think that trend line is valid. However, looking at the day, we see that we see the flat top here. All right. The flat top is perfectly at 16.3. We called this back here on the 12th at that resistance, and we can see no daily candle has closed above it in this consolidation. We have a bunch of wicks above, but there's no close. And we have said since this started, a close above 16.3 on the daily is likely going to be the signal that XLM is looking for a move back up, potentially just a retest of 20 cents, but potentially hitting even higher moon targets. Maybe we'll look at those. Clean AF. That's so clean. We even placed a long here. It's still looking good. Hasn't hit TP yet. There we are. Whoa. What is all this? I thought I started a new chart. I thought I started a new chart for all these. It's okay. On the day, really quick here. Marketcipher B could look better on the day. Nothing looks so great on the day right now for whatever reason. Weekly, looking pretty good. Not as strong as XRP, though. Interestingly. We're definitely seeing this consolidate, kind of flag out. What I also like is now looking at the weekly in XLM. I didn't really notice this, but this is looking pretty Wyckoff pattern-ish. We have a low, we have a creek that leads to another low that gives us a spring. We break the resistance of the structure, and then we do what is like called an SOS, basically the flag out above it, above resistance. That looks solid. That is solid. These are not my favorite coins, but hey, charts are charts, man. I own some XLM, just for clarity. Let's show you really quickly. You might say, well, where did 20 cents come from? What are you talking about? There you go. And where's 16.5, 16.3? Right here. There we go. That's where I got it from. So we get it from the previous support in 22 before we fell. Now looking at it as resistance. And then looking all the way over here to May 20. Is it? Yeah. May 2019. We had support there. Here, boom, fell. These are in play. These are the two major levels I see in XLM as players. I would say maybe even into August, definitely for this month. If we lose all of this, if that pattern falls out of the sky, I like to always go over kind of the negative potentials. If that pattern falls out of the sky, XLM has very, very strong support at 11 cents. I personally would not look to take a position, even though we had that long, that could have been a scalp play, but not like a long-term position. I personally may look to make this trade 11.2 cents. So this is really similar to, say, XLP. I'm getting tongue-tied on these. To XRPs, let's say 53 cent level. This is the major support that is below you. It was major resistance. You broke it. So you may get another shot at it. There's no guarantees ever, but if we see this come, I think that there is going to be a play to be made. I'm going to set an alert just in case. August sells off 11.1, 11.2 cents. Definitely where I'm going to be looking at for the stellar XLM. All right. Almost to the last thing. We're not going to spend a ton of time on this because it's Hex. We started the show with a jab at Richard Hart, who has been accused by the SEC of alleged civil fraud, and Hex had a nasty dump on that. It did trade as low as 25% down today, reaching a low of 0.0058 cents. Wow. If you guys remember, I would share with you guys when I remember that I pick up random bags. I picked up a random like $100, $200 bag of Hex at 5 cents. Thought I was a genius. Saw it go to 13 cents, and I was like, guys, I nailed the bottom, right? This is just a learning lesson. It's a great, this is some of the value you can get from this channel, watching me make mistakes. That buy was made earlier this year, and it is now down 90%. I deserve it. I'll take that. I'll eat that L. I deserve it. I bought Hex. I played with fire, and I got burned. That's pretty gnarly. Not a bad bounce, if you want to call it a bounce. Not a bad bounce today off of this dump. We do see it trading a good deal off of its low. 30%. I thought it was more than that. About 30% off of its low. I'm not touching this. I'm not going long or short on this. No, thank you. Really what I can see is this sell-off essentially squeezed squeezed longs, but shorts covering, taking profit, pushing the price back up. This looks like just a dead cat bounce to me. This is a dead cat bounce. However, if you're a huge risk taker, I would never ever recommend this on leverage. I'm not even sure if you can trade hex on leverage, but I would never recommend this on leverage. But if you're a big spot risk trader, you know what they say: buy when no one else wants to buy. I am getting some like the buy when no one else wants to buy vibes on this. I'm not going to buy any more hex. I'm already down 90% on my buy. I wasn't even a year ago, but maybe a few bucks of spot. This could be a very weird bet. I know if you guys are there are degens out there. You guys are degens. I'm a degen in many ways. This looks pretty degen-y. Do not approach this with any other expectation other than losing your money, but it could be an interesting gamble. That it could. I'm gonna place, let's just say this. Say it won't make it low, and God knows where you'd take profit. Nowhere. I mean, who knows? But just gonna place that there for my own memory when I come back to this chart to see if that degen play actually was good. But are any degen plays good? Let's be real. Let's be real. Degen. I didn't even spell that right. I don't think. I don't care. Degeneracy. Okay. Yeah, moving on. Moving on. Actually, let's look at the month really quick because that's going to be entertaining. If you thought your bags were doing bad, boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy. Damn. Is the all-time low for Hex 001? Probably. Probably. That's it. So, last chart, and this is the one I said, guys, make it to the end of this. Oh, make it to the end of this. This is a spicy chart I think every trader should be watching, or at least I'll say every millennial, most of Gen Z, or most of Gen X, maybe some of Gen Z. This is a spicy chart. This is mortgage rates, fixed mortgage rates, average in the United States for 30-year rates. It is currently at almost 7%. That is insanity. Let's see how far back this goes. Ooh, okay. All right. So back to literally like 2008 mortgage rates. They hit their, looks like, low on this chart. The date only goes back to 1971. Low at 2.65%. Guys, if you are a Chad who locked in, I'll say under 3% between 2020 and 2021, can you just raise your hand so we all can, like, idolize you and just, like, try to be like you? Because you are the biggest of Chad. You are the Chad. The Chad's Chad. Some would say. Some would say. I wouldn't. No, I would. Because that's awesome. These rates, just from the low of 21, up 161%. Owning a home got 161% more expensive since January of 21. Or buying a home on a 30-year fixed. That's effing wild. Let's see. I don't even know. Has anyone ever charted this? I'm going to chart it. Everything's chartable. Back to the 0.5 retrace. A little cup and handily. Next upside target, 8.8%. I don't know if this is the all-time high, but 18.64%. I'm going to go out on a limb. Chat, please feel free to correct me. I love when you correct me. I speak what I believe is true and what I believe. You know, I never deceive you guys. I always tell you what I think is true. Sometimes I'm wrong. But I believe mortgage rates being up here in the 80s versus here in the 7, or right now, I believe homes are way less affordable if we look at the price versus the mortgage rate, etc., especially versus wages, no doubt there, then back here at 20%. I was not alive back here. But I do remember the 80s being kind of like a golden era of finance and people making money. Despite interest rates being so high or mortgage rates being so high, houses were way more affordable than here. So what happens if we see this move up to 8.8%, which the Fed is not done raising rates? The Fed, our monetary policy is not really cemented. Things are very unstable right now. Well, what if we move higher than 8.8? What if we go back to that all-time high of almost 20% right now? What would happen? I genuinely do not know. Anyone with a variable rate would likely be bankrupt or forced to sell their house, be disclosed on, or disclosed? Whatever. Foreclosed on, weird. Very weird. I wanted to look at this chart. I am going to be watching it. I'm even going to set an alert on it when they move past their high of 17.1. But I would like to buy a house someday. Can I not set an alert? I can. I would like to buy a house someday. I cannot set an alert on this. TradingView is in cahoots with the big real estate people, not letting us chart it. I would like to buy a house someday. I grew up extremely poor. I didn't have any money for many, many years. I worked 9-to-5 jobs. My life is much better now financially. I am not super rich or anything. Maybe my friends think so, but I'm not. I'm well off, but I can't buy an effing house. It's wild. I might be able to, but I'd be overextending myself so much for so kind of little return. It just seems like the worst. Just seems like the worst idea. You know what's the double bone? Is back here during like 2020, 2021. This was when houses were also like the most expensive. So it's like the housing market was like at its like top of prices. We may see higher, but it's like it's tight. We might as well just even invert the chart here. If this was housing price, that was like the top valuation of houses. Mortgage rates were the lowest. Now housing prices have come down very, very little, but for like the first time in many years, and then interest rates just explode. We're all boned. Where are we going to live, guys? Like, where are we going to live? Who are we renting from? Who owns these things? I don't know. But it's a really spicy chart. Highly recommend everyone who's ever looking to buy a house, but really just people investing. Probably want to keep an eye on that. Nice. We got through it. How long did that take? 44 minutes. Holy shit, dudes. Why? How do I go on so long? How do people make 15-minute videos where they go over things? I need to work on that. I'll buy your house, Crypto Stevo. Yes. Dustin Witt, what's up, man? 88 Ace. We got a good number of viewers today. But do we have a good number of chatters? It does look like we do. I see 88 Ace, Blockchain Bonehead, Blue Skies, Brute Force, Colton Kirby, Crypto Stevo, Das Digler. What's up, Das Digler? Dustin Witt, FinTube, Janix, Jonah Plainclothes, Lepton Flow, Loading Name, Moggy Games, Mike McCarthy, Mr. Papi. What's up, Mr. Papi? I said to go over your weekly thing. All right, we have to do that. We have to do that. I promised. Guys, by the way, check out crownanalysis.com. I haven't been shilling it enough lately. We do need some more writers. We need to keep the articles pumping there. Check it out, bookmark it. We do have very quality articles and writers, but probably need to get a little more hype flowing on that. I promised I would go over Mr. Papi's market update, what you need to know. 31st of July to August 6th. I'm going to put this in the chat. I'm going to pin it. There we go. And you should check it out. I'll go over some of it as well, just to highlight Mr. Papi and his greatness. Let's pull up his I'm gonna pull this up really fast because this is the point. So if you guys write articles, you also get shilled by me. You guys follow Mr. Papi on Twitter. He's the writer of these articles. Great dude, personal friend, really like him. 10 out of 10, smart guy. Red Roo, what's up, man? You're back. We got you hooked, baby. I like it. Welcome. You've made the right choice. Red Roo says, I'd rather own Bitcoin than a house. I want both, but that's funny because that is like the conundrum is, so I could buy a house right now if I just liquidated all of my retirement, all of my investments, right? Probably not going to do that. Never going to do that. I don't want to give up my Bitcoin. Let's see. So I guess I don't know. I'm just going to be homeless. So starting off with the crypto and economic calendar, Monday, CPI numbers, huge. Tuesday, ISM Manufacturing Purchasing Managers Index PMI, pretty big as well. ADP non-farm employment change. Looking at unemployment numbers, we see down on Friday unemployment rates, non-farm payrolls, etc. Jobless claims on Thursday. GBP interest rate decision, services PMI. We have a lot of numbers that are very important to chirp out. And the Fed coming in this week. Market's likely to be pushed around by almost any of these numbers. Fingers crossed for high unemployment and low CPI, PMI, and that should be it. Crude oil inventories, I don't pay attention too much. Just, I don't know. I haven't seen a huge thing. So looking at the Bitcoin, I love getting someone else's opinion, especially in beautiful image and text format. Bitcoin indecision continues. Agreed. According to Papi, Bitcoin continues with a measure of uncertainty ranging tightly between 29 and 30K intra-week before finally losing 30 as a local support into this weekly close for the first time in a month. This aligned with our bearish scenario last week of having a possible swing low through the upper 20s. Truth. That's what we were looking for as well. Macroeconomics remain significant, but the narrative is shifting from macro to regulatory concerns, with the US dollar index on track to close 101 this quarter. Do I have that up? I must have closed it. Bitcoin levels 30K marked as the most important support level historically. Wait, most important. What am I even saying? 21's bull market 30 withstood several retests until the Luna meltdown. True. Intermediate resistance 30. I would say 30 is correct, but 30, 30.1, or 30 or 30.3. I think 30.3 is pretty sly. Intermediate support 29.2. My man. And I know Papi does not just like watch the streams and he writes this. Papi is his own analyst. He doesn't just say what I say. But I like it. Of course, I always think what I think is right, just like everyone. But what I love is when someone else's analysis that doesn't usually or doesn't always agree with mine lines up with mine. That's how I know I got something good. Current range 29 to 37. Yeah, 37. Support levels 28.9, 29, 27.7. 26.3, 25.5. So those are much lower than I'm looking, but of course possible. I would add 29.2, as he mentioned in this article, 28.5, and 27.2. Just to add those in. Full perspective. BlackRock request for ETF. XRP's victory. This is really good, Papi. This is really good, man. Well done. If you do this every week, like every weekend, I will do a Monday where I do this every Monday and highlight you. Bull market support band between 28 and 28.5. Yep, that's the 20 week, 21 week, or the 20 MA on the week and the 20 EMA on the week, depending on, I think those are two different ways people look at it. Bear perspective, despite recent clarity derived from the Ripple win, there's still no clear playbook for crypto in the US. Yes. The much touted ETF requests are not guaranteed. Yes. And they may be rejected. Yes. We have seen this many, many times. Boy, you cried wolf, ETFs. JP Morgan was recently fined nearly $1 billion for manipulating commodity markets, and now they're trying to get into the Bitcoin manipulate. Whatever, join us. The SEC, hope for this SEC versus CTFC continues, that they don't try to crush crypto players and essentially gate crypto out of the US. I think that that's becoming less and less likely. The US dollar index, spicy news. The Dixie chart is set to 12-month. Oh, this is the yearly. To present a general decline in the US dollar over the last 50 years. Absolutely. In fact, more than the last 50 years, right? I believe the dollar was like the absolute strongest in like the 20s, maybe, like purchasing power wise. And it's only declined since there. Bad to bet up indefinitely on the dollar. Honestly, real quick here, being a perma bull on Bitcoin, I think makes sense. Being a perma bear on dollar, like I feel like those are equal, right? If you're a perma bull on the dollar, you've spent the last 100 years watching your thing die and pretty much never go up. Vice versa for bears and Bitcoin. But anyway, for those who follow this newsletter regularly, which now is going to be all 770 of us here right now, all of you watching, you're all going to be regular readers. We've been calling for larger sell-offs in the US dollar. Yes, we have. And specifically are waiting for the dollar index to lose 101 support. Yes. Historically, that has led to prolonged downtrends. Dollar touched its lowest level since April of 22. We observed 1016, great number, Papi, at least 5 times in the past 50 years. Losing that level led to several years of dollar trending down. Why do we care? Because the dollar is paired and basically we use it to buy everything. And when the dollar goes down, everything gets more expansive. And when the dollar goes up, everything gets cheaper in dollars. Kind of catch 22. It is a complex financial data point. A lot of external factors impact its value, but in the simplest terms, you can look at the relationship between the Dixie and risk assets like Bitcoin simply. They usually move inverse of each other. When the dollar is up, Bitcoin is down, and the opposite is true. Dollar's bearish sentiment coupled with a hawkish outlook for the euro, which is also a key economic competitor, Bitcoin's rising sentiment on the back of ETF news and Ripple's win, and the next year halving approaching, things are shaping up pretty bullish for 24. I agree. Market sentiment, I don't even know if I'm going to read it. This has been at neutral for the longest I've ever seen it. We remain at 50. I think it is a bullish thing to remain at 50, especially as we're putting in higher lows. Papi thinks the narrative shift from macro concerns to regulatory concerns, we see some indecision, ranging around 50, represents the market kind of being uncertain, waiting for BlackRock, etc. Trading tips, hell yeah, and that's the end. Economic indicators, we watch for key indicators. Wait, let's add like a hook into it, so maybe we can make a clip out of it. Let's see. Can I come up with a hook on the spot? Here's the most important things you should be watching this month for trading. Economic indicators. Watch key indicators like unemployment rates, gross domestic product, and inflation, such as consumer price index CPI, for updates or insights into the economic health of the country. Central bank policies. Stay up to date with the central bank interest rate decisions and monetary policies which can impact currency value and market movements. For example, when the US Fed raises rates, it usually leads to a stronger dollar. Political and regulatory news, changes in government, new laws, and international relations can lead to market volatility. Monitor US government regulators such as the SEC and CFTC. Geopolitical risks. Be alert for global events like wars, a word I'm not going to say, natural disasters, and anything that can cause uncertainty and market swings. The market crash of 2020 was a great example of how these events can affect markets and also present opportunity. And finally, market sentiment. Use tools like the VIX, BVOL 24-hour to gauge the market's overall sentiment and help determine the current trend. Happy trading. Maybe that'll make a sweet short. Maybe it'll suck. I don't know. We'll find out. Whew. It is Monday, and Bitcoin is at 29.2. Let me pop out the chat. There we go. We are coming up on an hour here. On a whole hour. I really wish there was an easy way to end this stream and start a new stream, because I want to do a bunch of charts and stuff, but I don't want it to be like an 8-hour long stream, because nobody watches those. 45 minutes is still too long. I don't know how people can get so much out of the way. I don't know how people can fit so much in 10 minutes. They have like a 10-minute video and they have like 8 topics. I can't do one topic in 20 minutes. What's up, Archias, Nabil, Kahan, Cut, in all caps. What's up, Tom G? How you doing, man? Chat GBT will help fix your bugs. I hope so. What's up, Pickle? Trade Intuition, how you go, man? Gotta go. Glad I caught you anyway. What's up, loading name? Time traveling Tazio. Are you now traveling time? Traversing time, Tazio. Excellent. Not normally one for predictions, but you're thinking Bitcoin spot ETF is going to be improved 30 days. Within 30 days of the next halving. Okay. Who let the koalas out? I'm not sure. What's up, Matt Ski? Show live trades. Matt. That's the show. I mean, that's all we do. It's all we do. I will show you the live trades that we have open. Oops. Did I just open the wrong account? No, I didn't. Okay, pulling them up. I have to like log in. I have to type in freaking like authenticator tokens and passwords. Takes a second. All right. So here are some of the trades. There's some of the trades. We've got a SHIB long open now. Up from yesterday. I didn't even check this today. Up $500, about 50%. Bitcoin short still up 10%. Our long chilling at neutral. Not a big change there. That is on Fairdesk, by the way. Sign up using my link. Videos in the video description or in the live chat. I think that's not what I want. Next up, Femex. This one is the position we've had open forever, and you better believe it's still open. This long was opened at 16.5. Wow, that was almost 8 months ago now. Yikes. I wonder how much I paid. It's currently up 455%, about $4,000 unrealized profit. I have realized about 3,000 of it, so we did close about half the position. That is just chilling there. I don't know. I kind of forgot about it. But thanks for the reminder. Finally. The last one. Here we go. These are all doing a lot better. We opened 2 Ethereum longs on Friday. Those are down 2-3%. Our long from 26.4 still open up about 700. 29.1 and 29. 29.1, 29K long still open in small profit or short in small profit. We got a little riggedy wrecked. You guys follow me on Twitter. I tweeted these, also put them in the Discord. We did get a little riggedy wrecked on some of these. A little bit. Kind of a losing streak there. You see a bunch of red. We're down a little bit, I think, for last month. There was a lot of sideways chop. We got chopped out of a bunch of positions. But there's really nothing too interesting there. But there you go, Matt. Skeet, 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 skeet. Skeet, 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 Matt. Skeet, skeet, skeet. Did it. Did it. Let me do this. Caspa. The Caspa break its all-time high yet? It didn't because I didn't get an alert. Nope. Just teasing us. There's not much else up. Wow. Bitcoin SV, Bitcoin Gold, Bitcoin Cash all had a little rally along with Litecoin yesterday, but that's probably no longer on the table. Yeah. You know what? This was a pretty badass episode. We got through it in not too long. Sorry I didn't get to interact with you guys more. Please join the Discord. Make sure you've liked and subscribed.